this is the first camp I can, like, you know, enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
A lot of things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands, and skill-wise and technique-wise, he's been doing this for so long.
In this fight, I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. You know, he's a real fighter, you know, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless to the weight, you know, I've personally seen Tank, you know, spar heavy.
Jake Paul versus GervontaDavis is a matchup no one saw coming. Two big names from completely different lanes are now sharing the same ring, each determined to prove he's the better fighter. The hype is huge, the pressure is real, and both are out to show the world they belong at the top.
Day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, you know, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime, and going into that and my body filling out, I just feel amazing. It feels super strong.
Jake Paul has been vocal about the intense work he's putting in for the GervontaDavis fight, saying he's bringing top talent into camp and even bragging about dropping sparring partners. He claims Shakur Stevenson will be helping him prepare soon, showing he's taking this matchup seriously. Jake has also admitted something rare for him: Tank is dangerous. While many fans focus on Tank being the smaller man, Jake completely rejects that idea. He says Tank has real knockout power in both hands and hits like a truck despite his size. Jake even admitted he's scared to step into the ring with him, which shows the level of respect he has for Tank's ability. That fear alone proves this isn't the joke some people think it is.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
Yeah, 90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. You know, he's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, you know, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, you know, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed, and not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to like lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punch.
Many people still don't realize how tough Tank's rise has been. Since the beginning, he's trained with top-level heavyweights, not just big guys, but skilled fighters who know exactly what they're doing. Showbiz analysts say Tank didn't just hang in there. He controlled those sessions and made bigger men look ordinary. So if he can handle dangerous heavyweights behind closed doors, a cruiserweight like Jake Paul isn't going to surprise him. Jake is larger, but Tank has already proved himself against bigger, smarter opponents. Jake has improved and worked hard to become a real boxer, yet he's still learning the basics while Tank has been facing elite talent since he was a teenager. When you look at Tank's experience and the level of giants he's dealt with, Jake's size alone may not matter. As Showbiz put it, this isn't a mismatch for Tank. If anything, Jake might be walking straight into a risky fight.
Okay, this is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, You know, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. I mean, he's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
What's the one boy's name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. He probably about to spar Tank. He was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. You might knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Cause I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, you know, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses, and that's a good thing. Honestly, when Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, you know, just kind of let them out. No, like, you know, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta.
Tank has made his choice about the future, and he's done with 135 pounds because the weight cut takes too much out of him. He wants to stay strong, energized, and fighting at his best, which is why the move to 140 shows a new and smarter mindset focused on bigger names like Jake Paul. After this fight, he plans to remain a full super lightweight and believes he'll look even more explosive in this division. Instead of limiting himself, he's opening the door to more opportunities and stronger performances. Some fans think being at 140 puts him at a disadvantage against a naturally heavier Jake, but Tank sees it differently, saying this is the weight where his body feels powerful, his stamina stays high, and his knockout power becomes even more dangerous. He already delivered highlight knockouts at 135, but now he wants truly show-stopping power, and Jake Paul could be the first one to feel just how dangerous this new version of Tank really is.
Or had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title, but I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all, but usually when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people.
Carmel Mouton shared his opinion and made it clear that Tank has a clear advantage. He says Tank's past sparring with heavyweights proves that size won't be an issue at all, because even if Jake is bigger, Tank's boxing IQ is far ahead. To him, the real gap is in skill, with Tank being a complete fighter while Jake is still developing. Carmamel expects Tank not just to win, but to win in dominant fashion. Since he sees Tank train every day and knows what he's capable of, his prediction carries weight. In his view, talent beats size and skill beats raw strength, and Tank shows that every time he steps in the ring.
Where's the Jake Paul?
I feel like it's gonna be a good fight, you know, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're gonna see how serious they really take it, but I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so, you know, congrats to them.
What if you had it, like, who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. You know, he's a real fighter, you know, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, you know, I've personally seen Tank, you know, spar heavyweights, you know, and even me, I spar heavyweights, you know. So the weight's not really too much, you know, for a lot of great fighters, you know, so I feel like Tank will get it for sure.
Didn't he kind of be like an advantage because he's like small and like fast? Like someone said that, I'm like, I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly, you know, you're gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming, you know, he can be able to evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is going to be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, like against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's going to give him like a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts to, because a lot of people think it's hard, you know, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, you know, they're very fast, so we'll have to see how he adapts to it.
Wait, and is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson really happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a date already, or like what's going on?
I don't think there's a date yet, but it's definitely an official fight and it's happening.
So what do you got to say about that? Like, what's going on?
It's gonna be a great show. You know, Floyd's gonna do his thing. You know, hopefully I'm on the undercard so I can put on a great show as well.
No, really? You guys already talked about that?
Not yet, no, but we'll have to see. Yeah, for sure.
And are you gonna fight again this year? Like, what's next with you, Carmel?
I don't know. At the moment, we haven't heard nothing. We're just waiting, you know, staying patient, you know, staying ready. But I should be back.
When the fight was first announced, Shakur Stevenson was one of the strongest voices criticizing it, questioning why a champion like GervontaDavis would face a YouTuber-turned boxer instead of another elite pro. He felt the matchup disrespected boxing. But now things have taken an unexpected turn, as reports say Jake Paul offered Shakur a solid payday to help him train for Tank's style, and Shakur accepted. Fans are now calling out the sudden shift, noting that if he truly thought the fight was bad for the sport, he wouldn't be involved at all. The same matchup he once dismissed is now the one he's indirectly helping. Many see this as a reminder that in boxing, money can change opinions fast.
Spar somebody or whatever, go get your money, right? But what's funny to me is for someone who had nothing positive to say about this fight, and someone who was critical of Tank Davis for taking this fight, and tried to shit on Tank Davis for taking this fight, he sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of it. He sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of the fight. And then to take that a step deeper and a step further, for someone who doesn't want to talk about Tank Davis anymore, he sure is making moves to ensure that he has continued to be mentioned with Gervonta Tank Davis. Shakur Stevenson is not stupid. The new firm that he hired to do his PR work and get him to do these interviews and try to enhance his brand, they not stupid. Jake Prince not stupid. Josh Dubin not stupid. The people around Shakur Stevenson have been building social media brands, building boxers, and building talent in different industries at the same time. I mean, for a long time. They know how this shit works. They not dumb. They know the conversation that is going to surround Shakur helping Jake Paul. Tank Davis' biggest rival going to camp to help Jake Paul. If Jake Paul has any kind of success in the fight, Jake Paul was successful because Shakur Stevenson is on a different level and he helped prepare Jake Paul for the fight with Tank. That's why Jake Paul did so good. They know this, bro. And to me, that's the problem that I always have with these guys like Shakur Stevenson. You can throw Lamont Roach in there. You can throw Devin Haney in there, bro. You can throw Keyshawn Davis in there if you want to. My issue is they won't admit what it is. And I guess it's an ego thing.
Offset looks at the matchup from a physical angle, saying Jake Paul's size and natural power could give him a real chance if he lands something big, since the weight difference is clear. But he also respects GervontaDavis' skills, noting how Tank can dodge shots, fire back instantly, and make opponents miss all night. So even though Offset slightly favors Jake because of the size factor, he admits Jake might struggle to land clean on someone as sharp as Tank. To him, it's a true showdown between size and skill, a strong, heavy puncher going up against a slick and highly trained champion.
In his view, this fight becomes a fascinating clash between size and technique. A large, powerful challenger against a slick, highly trained champion.
You saw Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
I don't understand how that's happening, though.
I mean, that's kind of what Jake Paul does, right?
The nigga's 7'8". 6'7". I'm not saying 7'8". Like, the nigga's 6'4".
So you think Jake wins?
Yes.
This is kind of like the Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight. And Mayweather, he got the better of Logan for sure. I think Logan's even bigger.
Than Jake? Fuck no.
Logan's bigger than Jake, yeah. Like bigger, yeah. But Jake's now a more experienced boxer than probably Logan was at that time.
I don't know. That weight shit, man, that shit is a real thing.
What's the odds on that shit? I wonder. Not out yet?
Who do you think will win out of Canelo?
I don't really follow boxing like that.
Canelo, man. I like my boy, but Canelo's just
Canelo's a beast.
He not old. He still got it. He hit hard as a motherfucker. And then like the fighters he fought and lost to was some dogs though. Like most people won't get in the ring with him. So it's like I feel like I don't know. Has he got this? I don't know. I feel like he gonna land though. What's that? What's the odds on that?
Oh, so there's Davis is minus 205 to beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul's plus 155.
Wow, that's tight odds. Tank Davis is minus 205. Jake Paul's 155 opening odds. Dude, that's crazy. I don't know.
Tank 5'2" though, but it's like he's so short.
Fast.
Yeah,
I'm
saying the height difference is
like,
crazy.
is Jake even gonna be able to hit him? Like he's probably still fast. Tank's gonna be able to hit Jake.
He's short though.
Tank's gonna hit him a lot, right?
How tall is Tank? 5'7". He's like 6'3". So different. That's
no, I know.
6'3" and big. Now technique, you got him in technique because he's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I gotta see that fight. That shit sound crazy.
You gamble on football? You sports bet?
You have to pay him a lot of money to that fight.
Oh, they're making so much.
Some analysts say the criticism aimed at GervontaDavis has less to do with the sport and more to do with jealousy. They believe fighters have been envious of him from the start, and now that he's set to earn a huge payday in one fight, that bitterness is stronger than ever. In their view, the same people calling him out would take this opportunity in a heartbeat if they had the chance. Rather than recognizing his success, they keep trying to tear him down, and these experts think most of the negativity exists simply because many wish they were in Tank's spot.
Fire! I get the chance to pick a great business mind brain and help give him some game in the process. I'm down. Oh, we know you're down. So for one, you look like you hating on Tank, bro. Like you specifically. Two, this is the same guy that said he's not watching the fight, but now you're somewhat taking part in the fight because you're trying to gather or help prepare Jake Paul for the fight. And then this is what Shakur Stevenson does, in my opinion. Shakur will make questionable choices, do certain things, right? And then afterwards, he'll be like, yeah, now that I got y'all attention, I got everybody mad at me. Bro, the stuff you're doing is weird. You know what I mean? And it's almost like, to me, it's almost close to like Karen behavior, in the sense that Karens, you see some of these Karens and they do all this extra stuff and then act like the victim. And I told you that's one of the main problems with Gen Z, right? Where Gen Z, they will do just weird things, make weird choices, make weird decisions, and then they'll act like, man, I'm Tupac, me against the world, everybody's against me. Everybody's not against you. You're just doing weird things. You're making weird decisions, it's weird behavior, so on and so forth. So let's ultimately recap. We gotta do the Boxing Ego recap to see what's really going on.
There's also a lot of talk about the money involved in this fight, with some analysts saying $20 to $40 million each sounds realistic, But the claims of nearly $200 million per fighter seem way over the top. Even though the event is massive and the spotlight is huge, many in the boxing world doubt the payout could reach that level in a single night. So for now, the exact numbers remain unclear, exciting to imagine, but far from confirmed.
It says 150 to 200 mil.
That'd be the most any athlete's ever made in one event, in one night. Where are they getting that money?
I mean, it's Netflix.
Okay, Mike Tyson didn't make that. Jake Paul didn't make that.
20 million, I would believe, not 200 million.
20 million seems realistic.
That's a lot.
Even because Netflix is bigger, but there's no pay-per-view model, so. And Gervonta is a big pay-per-view draw, especially for being a lighter weight class.
Yeah.
So 20 to even 40 I can get.
Oof, that's a lot.
40 I can understand.
When push comes to shove, though, you know, like 20.
Like Canelo's getting 40. Yeah. But Gervonta Davis, he was, especially on Showtime, he's a big pay-per-view star.
Yeah.
He's a knockout artist. 200 mil is just completely false.
Man, I mean,
swipe. What it says? Swipe to read more. What else does it say?
No, there's nothing there. That's probably from the original.
God, Jake is so much bigger.
Yeah, man.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for what's coming next.